everybody, John12 back here again with another video, and today I bring you another Dragon Ball Z topic video. Yes, last time I did one of these was around practically a year ago, and the topic overall was surrounded over the character of Bardock and whether or not he was or is the original Super Saiyan and or the original Super Saiyan God. Now, the conception of that video basically came around as like me being annoyed by practically so many Dragon Ball fans in the Dragon Ball fan community, if you will, believing the fact that Bardock is the original Super Saiyan or is the original Super Saiyan God based off, stuff like Episode of Bardock. Now, granted, I'm not trying to, before I get into the topic of this video, I'm not trying to say that everyone who commented on that video is wrong in believing the fact that Bardock is the original Super Saiyan. You believe the fact that he is. There's no right or wrong answer, of course, because Akira Toriyama never stated that he is or isn't, so of course it's all debatable. But at the same time, I want to make it perfectly clear on my stance, is that Episode of Bardock is not canon, folks. It's not. As much as you like it, it isn't. So, unless Akira Toriyama comes out and, draws a little short one-shot manga of Bardock becoming a Super Saiyan, then it's not canon. So, I'm sorry, but it's true. But I still enjoyed all the feedback, and still enjoy the feedback I still get on that video. But, seeing as how I've got so many views on the previous one, I decided, why not just start a new topic, because I like opening debates for critical thinking around Dragon Ball Z, because Dragon Ball Z is my favorite show. So anyways, today I'm here to talk about the dinosaurs and the anthropomorphic people within planet Earth. As we all know, in the universe of Dragon Ball, the series itself carries tons of various anthropomorphic animals, not to mention various dinosaurs and stuff, and I just wanted to talk about and open up a topic of what do you guys think, and what do you think the origins of how these creatures and animals came to be and continue to live amongst regular humans, because it's kind of odd the fact that this is practically the only anime in history that still has dinosaurs hanging around, and I know it's an anime kind of manga theme where you have really, really weird creatures and alien-like animals all over the place, but at the same time, in the context of this show, it's set in Earth, and even though a lot of things are advanced and you have characters that can do superhero things, it's still in the context of realism that it's based in planet Earth. So it's kind of weird that you have all these characters like Oolong and Puar and shit, and all the various other animal people living amongst regular humans, and not to mention the various species of dinosaurs living in the valleys and in the mountains and the wild and stuff. So here is my personal thoughts on what I think, what has been said, what has been stated, what is canon, and I want to know what you guys think and see what everybody else can come up with. Anyways, starting off with the dinosaurs. First off, there are various really weird things that go on with the dinosaurs in Dragon Ball. The fact that they exist in the first place is cool, but at the same time it doesn't make sense, because even people within the Dragon Ball world reference the fact that the dinosaurs were extinct. But how is that possible if the dinosaurs live right over there? It's like you travel 5 minutes outside of Goku's house, you'll come across a Triceratops or a T-Rex looking thing. It's common. So it's just weird the fact that in the context of the realism of the show, the humans and the characters know that dinosaurs are extinct. They're an extinct species, but it just doesn't make sense that they would still exist and still considered to be extinct. So it's just really weird. My guess is on two bases that I like to go with, two origins that I like to go with. First off is the canon version. Apparently, in Akira Toriyama has stated and had wrote that in Dr. Slump, the manga series that he created prior to in Dragon Ball, for those of you who don't know, essentially that the main character in there, which was Ariel, if I think I'm saying that correctly, I think I am. The main character in there, essentially at this point in time in the storyline, she kind of went back in time, and of the time of the dinosaurs, the dawn of the dinosaurs, if you will, and gathered a whole bunch of various species, brought them back, and then that's how dinosaurs live in today's world. So that's one kind of subplot line that we can go with, and it's interesting, and you might also be thinking is like, well, how does that fit for Dragon Ball? Well, Dr. Slump and Dragon Ball live in the exact same universe. The characters of Dragon Ball exist in Dr. Slump, and the characters in Dr. Slump exist in Dragon Ball. So it could make sense that could have happened in their storyline, where a character from there brought the dinosaurs a long time ago, brought them into here, and that's how they exist in today's world. So I guess that makes sense to a certain extent. Another thing that I kind of thought of, that in the context of behind the scenes of Dragon Ball, if you will, is like, okay, we have our normal storyline. Okay, here's a subplot. Like, let's say prior to the events of Dragon Ball, or during Dragon Ball itself, companies, scientists, people like Dr. Briefs and the Capsule Corporation, and corporations and governments like them basically thought of a way to clone dinosaurs and bring them into normal life. I mean, like, that's been talked about in science fiction and in books for a long time. I mean, hell, they even made a book out of it, people. It's called Jurassic Park. So that could be a really good answer as to why dinosaurs live amongst the humans in Dragon Ball. The fact is that maybe like some kind of billionaire scientist like Dr. Briefs, or maybe Dr. Briefs himself, decided to clone dinosaurs, clone DNA, and just bring them into our world, and then that's how they live amongst everybody else. So that's also another good reason. But I want to know what you personally think. That's one of the big topics I want to talk about. But also another really interesting thing that supports the fact that maybe every single dinosaur in Dragon Ball is a clone is because of Beerus. Yes, Beerus, the god of destruction. The newest addition, the newest character, villain, if you will, to the Dragon Ball universe from Battle of Gods. If you rewatch Battle of Gods, specifically the extended edition, which if you haven't yet seen it, you should go pick it up. In that extended edition, Beerus clearly states, and it's clear as day, he clearly states when he's talking to Whis about Earth prior to traveling to see Goku on King Kai's planet, he clearly states that he may have, once again, this is only, speculation, he may have traveled to Earth millions or billions of years ago, way prior to the events of Dragon Ball, saw the dinosaurs, didn't like them, because you know how Beerus is, the second you piss him off, he's going all rager, cat rage, and decided to wipe out the dinosaur species. Now, granted, that's a good answer. Beerus, okay, well, billions of years ago, he went to Earth, didn't like the dinosaurs because they were assholes, killed them all, wiped them out with his power, and then went back to sleep for the next billion years. That could be a good answer, but at the same time, how does that factor into how dinosaurs are in, Dragon Ball? I mean, Dragon Ball, they're still dinosaurs. So that's how I like to think of it. It's like, okay, well, Beerus destroyed the dinosaurs. Years later, when humans created technology, they saw, dinosaur, fossils or whatever, how we do in normal life, and just decided, like, back in the 1900s or whatever, in the realism of the context of the show, decided to clone them, have their own Jurassic Park, but instead of creating a park, they just said, you know what, screw it, let's just free them into the wild like regular animals, because we're human. But anyways, that's just my personal thoughts on it. But in the comment section below, let me know what you personally think. Let's debate over this. What do you personally think is the origins of the dinosaurs? Do you think the extinction of their species is correct? Once again, this could just be, this is all like just, this is all debate. This is just for debating wise. I'm not trying to say like what's right and what's wrong. I'm just trying to debate over it. But next is the anthropomorphic beings of Dragon Ball. Now, first off, there's various characters like that, Puar, Oolong, and various other characters throughout Dragon Ball, like the various soldiers in the Red Ribbon Army, Korin, the King of the Earth, King Furry, even various other characters in Dragon Ball are all practically humanoid animals, so, and that's a really interesting thing to say, is like, how do they fit into the human world, how do they get there, and how this, like, all come to be, it just doesn't make sense that they would exist, and they would have, like, this free reign to do various human-like things. I mean, first off, the King of the Earth is a dog. I mean, that's insane. I mean, like, it's all good and fun and games for cartoon-wise. That's just beautiful fucking work. Just, oh god, that's just hysterical. The King of the Earth is a dog. Oh god. But, it is true. It's just really weird. Nevertheless, why is that? One of the biggest reasons is because Akira Toriyama wanted to do it. Of course, it's his style, it's his artwork. He clearly stated that the reasoning behind he drew animal-type characters with human-type characters in his storyline is because he likes drawing animals. That's the overall conception of why they're there, because he basically likes drawing animals, and he likes variations between animals, like dogs, bears, and cats, and the various fucking cats and turtles, and all the great stuff that we've seen in Dragon Ball. So that's the overall reason. But then what are the deeper reasons? What are the deeper realistic reasons in the realism of the show? Well, there's all types of things. First off, maybe it's a science experiment gone wrong. Maybe back in the day, centuries ago, prior to the events of Dragon Ball, scientists were like, you know what, let's develop a new species of human, and then they created humanoid animals, and then they just ran with it until they decided, let's just stop because we've made too much, and now they're in regular life. Maybe that's one of them. Another one is maybe the Dragon Balls. Maybe at some point someone wished, let's have a humanoid, animal. I want a talking dog. And then boom, the talking dog got the Dragon Balls and was like, I want my own species on Earth or something. The possibilities go on and on. Another really interesting plot point is in Dragon Ball Online, where apparently a scientist, doctor, if you will, apparently released these animals prior to the events of Dragon Ball. Which is also really interesting topic. So, and it's really hard to say. It's like, well, who's who, why, what's what, where's where, go where, I don't know. It's really weird. It's hard to say. Of course, the biggest reason, Akira Toriyama drew them in because he likes animals and he likes drawing animals. The deeper reasoning is so many different possibilities. The Dragon Balls can be an factor. Okay, guys, but I think I'm gonna end that there because I don't want to drag this on far too much. I don't want to ramble for an extraordinarily long time, but I'd like to thank everybody who commented and viewed my previous Dragon Ball Z topic video. My Bardock is the original Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan God video. I really appreciate that. The main reason why I made recording this one is because of how many views I got on this one. So I want to see this video get over 1,000 views like the previous one. I don't know how long that's gonna take, but let's see what happens with that. But anyways, in the comment section below, let me know what you personally thought about this video. If you have an interesting topic that you want me to talk about, or you want to talk about, let me know. Also, let me know your personal thoughts on what I had to talk about. Do you think Beerus destroyed the dinosaurs? How do you think the Dragon Balls play a factor in the conception of both species living on Earth? And which character do you think created the anthropomorphic people / dinosaurs? I think it's scientists like Dr. Brief, prior to the events of Dragon Ball. But what do you think? Do you think Dr. Brief created them? You never know. There's lots of dinosaurs in Capsule Corp for some reason, so it could be an interesting factor. Nevertheless, I just wanted to open that little topic, that little critical thinking / debate open into the interwebs and let you guys suffice. But anyways, with that aside, if you guys are wondering any type of new upcoming Dragon Ball topic videos I'll be doing, I will also be doing my Dragon Ball podcast. I've talked about it a lot. I'm still working on that because I haven't actually recorded an episode, if you're wondering. I'm still trying to get a theme for the show because I want there to be, obviously, an intro and an outro, but I'm finding it very difficult to find a song that I can use properly. And I was thinking about just using and asking someone to create one, or maybe just, asking to use someone else's music. I don't know. I've done that in the past, but at the same time, it's kind of hard to find a good cover of a Dragon Ball song that I want to use, with the exception of like the opening credits, the Cha-La, Head Cha-La song. So it's difficult. But if you have any thoughts on that one, let me know. But the Dragon Ball podcast is coming up. It'll probably be up by the time we reach the end of this month or the beginning of next month. It's definitely going to show up before the end of the year. And also, other Dragon Ball related videos. Besides the podcast, I will also be reviewing Robot Underdog's newest Dragon Ball Z live action series, Light of Hope. All of you have been wondering my personal thoughts on them, and you are finally going to get them, people. I'm going to be reviewing that series and giving you guys my thoughts on them. So I'm not going to be too critical, but it is my first, if you will, review of a fan series for once. I wanted to do one on K&K, but at the same time, I thought it would be more, significant if I did Robot Underdogs, because unlike K&K, they're actually doing a web series, so, let's just see what happens with that. But anyways, whenever they plan to actually release episodes, you'll get my review on that. But anyways, that's going to be it. I hope everyone has enjoyed this little video, or a long video, depending on how long I've ranted. Subscribe to my channel if you've not done so already, and this has been John 12.